What's up, Shadows, and welcome back to the second part in the Stanley Parable series. Um, I know I made a kind of quick and abrupt ending for the first part. This particular recording session that I did was running kind of long, and I don't really want my videos to be like an hour plus at this particular time. I don't think it would really do too well for this channel, but regardless, in this episode, there is some great twists, there's some great turns, some being from the original, I believe, and some definitely from the Ultra Deluxe Edition. Either way, this one is definitely a little more, what would be the word? Exciting? I don't know, that's really the only word that pops in my head right now. But regardless of all that, I hope you guys do enjoy this video and continue to look forward to other episodes because we find out just how many endings there are in this game, in this particular episode, and I intend to find a majority of them, if not all. But with all that said, guys, let's go ahead and jump right into the game, alright?
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
I don't like that. I don't like that, Shadows. Come on.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Ooh. Mind control.
Although
Fuck
this
that.
passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
You mean that door? I thought you meant the door I passed. Okay. No, if this is gonna lead to my death, let's go.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Yes. Oh no, it's not conscious or anything. I know what's happening, and I'm gonna do it regardless. Yerp. Yeah. Oh. Damn. Well, I mean, he did say that's what was gonna happen, so I mean. I'm conscious. Oh. Except I didn't die? You fucking lied.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
This is something to get dropped, right? There's something under?
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator,
What the
as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body,
But I'm still
killing
alive.
him instantly.
But I'm still alive. But I'm still alive.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
What the fuck?
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
This blueprint what obviously this blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path from Stanley's office to two doors was the first part of the game that was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout development through the core layout. Though the core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. Okay, so my office. Okay. Okay. Damn. Damn. Corridor. The pacing of this opening section was important to get right. This corridor has been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the 2 doors in a good time. Right. The 2 doors. The set of the two open doors was the very first concrete piece of the Stanley Parable's design. Once this room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an extension of it, an exploration of the contradiction the room posed. Okay. Filing cabinets, okay. So it's just a museum of, like, everything. The office, okay. Button sounds. A selection of sounds throughout the game. When buttons are pressed, each sound is a mix of a keyboard stroke and a synthesized tone. Right. Right. Office computers. Okay. Credits. Original music. Model design. Development and stuff. Based on the work of the Stanley Parable 2013 team. God, it's been 10 years. Holy shit. Office clock. Nice. Boss's office. Screens from the development of the boss's office. Oh. Oh. Let's see what's over here. The office. Maintenance room. 4-3 through 6. Fun. Okay. What? What the fuck? Early in development, we decided an ending where Stanley would end up on a battlefield fighting aliens. The action game would become sentient and would wage war against the narrator. We realized shortly after starting to build it that it was far too jokey and on the nose for the tone of the game. Plus, some people interpreted it as making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. Okay. Narration emails. After the second trailer we sent out, we asked people to email the narrator for questions. While we had initially planned to use these further promotional materials, we never found the perfect use for them. Here are a selection of those emails. Subject: love the game. Greetings, omnipotent voice. I wanted to tell you I like the Stanley Parable as much as I like. Oh, please, I would like you to keep this personal as a top secret and delete it if you are not interested, and get back to me if you are interested for details as regards for the transfer 24. Oh, how do you type with boxing gloves on? Okay. Ben. What do the lights in the control room do? I really want to know. Montgomery Jones. Partner, I'm Anthony Elias, business broker. Please partner with me in a very rewarding business venture. Details will be sent to you if you're interested. Oh. Hi, Mr. Narrator Guy. I have a question for yous, sir. And it is, what is your message for today? Alright, Harris. There's a skeleton inside of you. There are more skeletons in this world than humans. Thanks and goodbye. Alright. Blank, I am Stanley. Are you spying on me? Why? How? Question brought forth by the intense passion of my soul. Will the game feature capybaras? Capybaras? I don't know how to say that. Dear narrator, how do you stay in shape? Michael the Rock Martin. Pixel Sith. Okay. Well, playing this. Are you gay? Oh my god. Wow. I I appreciate the previous Stanley game as a work of art and a standalone title. I appreciate the credit given to art, which is why I'm eager to see a sequel, prequel, standalone, companion game. Okay. Have infinite quests. How many endings? Stanley Parable is really going to let me go shopping. I hope it will have a fine selection of desert boots. How do you make a JRPG? How do you make the worst game ever? What is the difference between a duck? Right. How is this game going? I hope it's as good or better than the first one. Okay, I'm done here. The lounge. That's an early version of the lounge, okay. Oh, the apartment timer. In a previous version of the choice leading to the apartment ending, a timer would give you 15 seconds to pick up the phone. Not picking up the phone would lead to a different ending. Okay, cargo lift. Cargo lift, okay. Didn't see all that. Bruh. Meeting room. Maintenance layout. The flow of hallways following the first two doors was important to get right, since players will replay them so many times. We discussed a number of designs, but ultimately it was the simplest version, the one out. One option, obey staircase, disobey lounge, maintenance, then to the staircase. Two options, obey, disobey lounge, maintenance. The other entrance would be hidden, depending on how you entered. One doorway to maintenance in the lounge, and the original to confusion ending. To confusion ending. To confusion ending. To confusion ending. Vent? You can what? Alright, this is huge. Zending model. The Zending went through many iterations. This room represents the fourth version of the ending, and we thought it was complete, but decided to abandon and change again shortly before launch. The screenshot depicts an early version of the ending known as the Zending, which was eventually cut and merged with another part of the game. Right. I don't know where I'm going. We ran 4 major test trailers over the course of the game's development, each meant to convey something about the spirit of the game. This is the first one released in May 2012. It features a series of broken rooms and the voice of the narrator informing viewers that he is repairing a new version of the Stanley Parable. Right. How do I get out of here? The game is now paused. Begin the new game. Resume the game. Options. Escape menu. Okay. Monitor room elevator. Okay.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Right.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
Fuck you. I like the other narrator better, honestly. I mean, no cap. Not capping at all. We need each other, narrator.
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo?
This is
He
different.
could no longer recall.
This is weird.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Right.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
You're right.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Honestly didn't even
But
think.
Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished?
Yes.
His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy.
Oh, I am
All of my
crazy.
co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all.
Right.
And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Are you? Thank you.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake me up.
Oh
my
my
name
God.
is Stanley. I have a boss, I have an office, I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real, I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Oh. Damn. Stanley having an existential crisis.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk.
Nice.
And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Huh. Well, alright then.
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken.
New content.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
I don't know if I like this.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers.
Right.
After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over.
Right.
Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
I don't even know.
Well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
I don't even think I've seen all the normals
Okay,
content.
so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Right.
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, here we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if the... Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Oh no.
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Nice. I can finally jump. Hell yeah. Can I only jump in this circle though? I can. Only this circle. Well, damn.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness, another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, Initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh wait, there's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is. That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated.
There's no way that's true, actually. Hold on. Hold up. Beat the game. Okay, I still haven't got that. Click on a door. Click on door 430, 435. Click on door 435 times. Okay. Whew. Test achievement description. Replace this. Test achievement. Please ignore. Oh my. Commitment. Play the Stanley Parable for the entire duration of a Tuesday? What am I?
And I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills. No gimmicks, just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
I say that, bucko. $4.30 5 times, okay. What?
Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something. Oh, you don't want to see the cool surprise I made for you?
Whoa.
Well, fine. Oh, never mind. You're not a dog.
Huh?
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look. I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Again, I don't think I experienced all the original Stanley Parable content. I'm just... Did I fuck myself?
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com, James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing.
I wouldn't say
It's
that.
no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Damn. I feel you, dude. If I go in here, the door's gonna close. At risk of hurting myself more. Damn. Damn. Sad day.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
I wanna... It's a serious room!
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they? Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
A lot of Steam reviews there, bud. A lot.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Oh, dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps
Well,
the
you did.
Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
It's a good review. You're focusing on the negatives.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have. And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No, the Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story, and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so, now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the... Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof. Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes. It's not... Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls. Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with.
I mean, it's not like you spoke with me at all, ever.
That's how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always?
Yeah.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about every...
Even the clock died. I imagine it's been a very long time. If it went from like 30 to 45 minutes to 12 hours and then 12 hours to like a week or two, I'd imagine it went several months. Boop. Right.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't...
Cool, he's done.
end, is never the 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 end.
Yo, he's making a banger right now. Not even gonna lie.
Is never the end, 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 is never the
right. This is water. I mean, you're the narrator. You can make an exit, dog. What are you doing? Oh. Yeah, it's probably been years and years and years and years and years and years and years. I'll do it again. Nice. Sunlight. Well, he's still not talking, so. Oh. That's been a long time. Oh, and now it's all dead. Damn. That's crazy. I think he just gave up. The fuck was that? That don't sound right, bruh. Hey. Oh, damn. Where's it gonna let me go? It's gonna let me go pretty far. Oh? Hello. Hello. The end is never the end, is never the end. Oh. Is the narrator gone now?
How wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted.
Oh. Bless me. Oh, God. Nah.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
What if he, like, straight up just changed it? That would be crazy.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Right.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his... Oh, no. Oh, no, 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 not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
It was 4285, right? I think so.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known that. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Interesting. And now we've made a complete circle. I'll check out the mind control room this time, I guess.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Alright.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
I did. For sure.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed.
Fire.
Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
What? I was 398 and shut up there. Weird placement.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Where's 4? 4's up there. Can't get to it. Strange.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control?
Hell yeah!
Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do.
Right.
You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave.
Right.
If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich.
What?
I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones, or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Sold? Do you have any idea
what is happening? You are
Stanley,
crazy.
you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing.
Oh my god!
You being blown to pieces.
Oh
Will
my...
you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say happily ever after.
What the fuck just happened? I could clearly do something there. But what? I don't know. I don't know if I'm mentally capable of handling that right now. Okay, yeah. With that, we are definitely ending part 2 on that note. Like, that's for sure. Holy shit. I might do some research. I don't know. I might just go in blind. But I could definitely do something in that fucking room. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna fucking beat this game, alright? But, until next time, Shadows, I hope you have a great one. I hope y'all enjoying, the series. And if you are, why not go ahead and click that like button, Maybe subscribe. You won't miss out on the next one, Either way, you do you. I'm not a narrator. I don't control you. You are your own person. You do whatever you please. But it would really help out a lot. But until the next, episode, I shall catch you guys around. Y'all be safe out there. Peace out.